there has been a growing trend of Puerto Rican drug addicts showing up on the streets of Chicago. And so one woman by the name of Melissa Hernandez started looking into this issue, and she found that while Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, some of the elected officials in Puerto Rico are now sending drug addicts to the United States with a one-way ticket in the hopes of getting them rehabilitation. But once they get to the U.S., not only do they not get appropriate rehabilitation, they end up on the streets and, in some cases, have their property stolen from them. So according to Vice, for the past decade, Puerto Rican officials have sent nearly 800 heroin users to the mainland United States as part of a questionable response to an overwhelming drug problem occurring on the Commonwealth, with at least 120 of them landing in Chicago. There were local news reports on this as well, and WTTW says, most end up at unregulated and unlicensed storefront treatment centers. Addicts are crowded into dirty rooms where they sleep on mattresses on the floor. There are also allegations that the operators of these treatment centers are stealing addicts' IDs, possibly to resell. So what happens is they come to the U.S., many of these individuals don't speak English, and so they'll have their ID stolen, they'll have their, identification essentially taken away from them so these shiesty people can sell it. And then they end up on the streets because they don't know what to do. They're addicted to drugs. They have no resources. They don't know how to get in touch with their family members. And it's a growing problem. And don't think it's unique to Puerto Rican drug addicts. This is something that's been happening throughout the country, with hospitals not knowing what to do with individuals that are suffering from severe mental illnesses. They'll just dump them on the streets. That's what's happening in Skid Row right now with, those who have severe mental health issues, and they don't know where to go or what to do. They need help, but they just get thrown onto the streets.
That's in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles,
And so, first of all, don't let Trump get a hold of this story, because he's going to be like, I knew it. They're sending their addicts here. Right? But if you want to stump Trump, so easy. Ask him, what is Puerto Rico in relationship to the United States? No way he knows. Okay. Be like, no, they over there, the Puerto Ricans, that's a different country, and they're like the Mexicans, they're sending the worst. That's what they're doing. They're doing it every day. Okay. I don't know. Ask him. Okay. I can't wait for the answer. Maybe he'll get it exactly right. Anyway, but it isn't just Puerto Rico, of course. There's other stories of different places in the country buying one-way bus tickets for people who have addiction or mental health problems to San Francisco.
Yep.
Okay, they just send them to San Francisco. And so it's outrageous. It's just, it's exactly what's wrong with, I'm going to get mine, I don't care what happens to you. I'm going to get this person that is costing me money to treat or to help, okay, and I'm going to just ship it to someone else so it's not in my backyard, and I'm going to be done with it. Now, in this case, with Puerto Rico, I feel like there's another part of this story that we haven't quite gotten to, because one part of the story explained they just give them a one-way ticket and sometimes nobody shows up at the airport. But other times people do show up at the airport.
Yep, and take advantage of them.
And then they ship them off to the places you were talking about, Anna. I feel like there's somebody making money on the other end that's connected to the guys telling them you should go to Chicago.
There's some sort of financial incentive, but even if, in a more perfect world, I don't know, where there isn't a financial incentive, they're trying to get rid of the problem. They're trying to just get rid of these people and give them a one-way ticket to the mainland, hoping that, hey, whatever, we don't have to deal with it as much. And that alone is enough to make me feel like these people are disgusting, right? Look, I get it. Puerto Rico is in a lot of trouble. Their economy is in a lot of trouble, right? But at the same time, you have an obligation as a politician, as an elected official, to take care of your people, to represent them. If you have a drug abuse problem, you don't solve it by throwing them into the streets and maybe thinking that they'll fend for themselves. They're obviously not fending for themselves. Melissa Hernandez, the woman that I was mentioning earlier, who started looking into this problem and realizing what was happening in Chicago, runs an organization called the Puerto Rico Project. And after she works her day job, which is a dental hygienist, full-time job, she goes to the streets of Chicago and starts helping these people with food, with clean syringes, because a lot of them are, addicted to heroin, and she doesn't want them to inject with dirty syringes that'll spread diseases. I mean, she is an incredible woman. She was a heroin addict herself and she recovered. But this is horrible and it's happening throughout the country. And again, it doesn't only impact Puerto Ricans. It's happening with those who have mental health issues, who have no other place to go, who don't have resources. And if we're going to have conversations about mental health, I would like to have them more regularly as opposed to only talking about it when there's a mass shooting in the country.
Okay, let's leave on a high note here because Melissa Hernandez is an angel and they live among us too. We've talked a lot in this election about the people that live among us that are scary folks, okay? But then you got the Melissa Hernandez. Would you do what she does? I thought that running that nonprofit was her full-time job. No, she's a dental hygienist, as you said. Mm-hmm. She spends at least 2 days a week, 5 hours a day in those weeks after she gets off from work, unprompted by anyone, right? She just goes to help the people who need it the most, who the rest of us look away from, let alone not helping, etc. Who thinks, oh my God, there's a person who's a heroin addict, let me rush over to him to help him.
You know who thinks that? Someone who has empathy, because she's been in those shoes, okay? So she can see herself in those shoes. That's why empathy is so incredibly important in every single story that we talk about. Because I feel like if the majority of Americans had empathy for others, we would just live in a better place. We would actually solve problems as opposed to having this individualistic mentality about everything, this us versus them mentality. That's only further dividing us and leading to more problems in the country.
And so another thing that I'm afraid conservatives look at Melissa Hernandez and say, oh, well, look, she did drugs too. You know that she joined a gang when she was 14. You know what that means? That means that she lived in a tough area. And you don't know what you're doing at 14. What were you doing at 14? You were probably, I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I was in a cushy suburb. There's no gangs to join in my suburb, right? And she lives in that culture. She gets addicted to heroin at the age of 16. She doesn't know what she's doing, but she recovered from that. People throw people like Melissa Hernandez away, but it turns out if you don't, they come back and they're, like I said before, I really think she's an angel. To help people as much as she is, you should help her project. It's nonprofit Puerto Rico Project, and she's just doing this on her own. She isn't connected to anybody who's super rich or anything along those lines, just doing it out of the goodness of her heart. And I'm so glad there are people like that out there that are, look, it's beyond just empathy. Way better than us, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know that I run, when I see a heroin addict, to him to help him, but she does. And so bless her heart. You power the Young Turks. We do this all through membership. tytnetwork.com/join. Let's build the media that we can believe in.